So, hi guys. Today I'm going to explain you how to set up this Arduino file for us. So first of all, we're going to get rid of this floor XYZ axis 3D cursor and perhaps the relationship lines. They're okay. The bones, motion path, origins. Get rid of the camera. And okay, we will take this cube as an example. This is a good example. So first of all, we need to check our camera settings. Camera settings here should be 25. And then this camera should be not auto here. The sensor fit should be vertical, 36, and this is 23. Okay, these are the settings that work. So you can start from this and then tweak it on your own, but it's safer to start from this. And we're gonna do something. We're gonna open this view here. We're gonna press T and get rid of these tools. We also don't want none of these viewport gizmos, nothing like that here as well. I should have done this before here. Okay. And we're gonna also separate this here to have a very small view. You will understand why we need that. So here we can also add a Python console in order to see what's going on somehow. And here we might want to just, if you can click on this, no. Click on here, no. Where can you do it? Click on here, anywhere, and show header. Hide the header, and also, yes, no, you need the header. You need to hide text info. You don't want it here. So we're gonna hide the header back, and then we have this view here that we can set as our camera as well. So this add-on, now we're gonna go open F4 preferences, and we're gonna install the add-on, which is in here, Blender 2 OLED. Enable it, and that's it. It's supposed to be saved. Now we will have this Arduino here. So we will need to initialize, but before initializing, we can kind of reset our camera position. This camera position is not so bad, but we're not gonna see much. I would like to reset the camera. So I'm gonna take this N view here, item, transform, location Z0, and X 90, and Z0. So it's facing nothing actually. We can always put it on the side, GX, in order to see the cube from front, and then we will see X here 0. We can put 0 to be sure. We're absolutely in front. We can also move the Y to get closer. So let's say -4. Now we should have this. So we're gonna go into our Arduino setting and initialize the button, because okay, if there's no camera here, it's gonna tell you add a camera to scene. Okay, so that step should be taken care of. Now it's gonna tell us in red to initialize. These settings we're gonna see later. That's why they are collapsed by default. So if we initialize and we are in the view here, what's gonna happen? It's gonna add a plane right over my camera. And if you want to move your camera later on, because maybe this is not your favorite camera position, so if you see now the plane is not moving with my camera, so I have this utilities here and parent to camera, and now this camera is going to move with the plane. Wherever it goes, it's going to move with the plane. This is an important step if you want to have different camera positions, so, and angles, which means now if I want, I have my camera selected, I can go into the constraint and add a simple track to constraint, and I'm gonna track to this cube, which means now if I move this camera, it's gonna try to track the cube wherever I am, which can be useful, and that plane is not moving. If you want to unparent the plane, you can always click unparent, which means now the camera is going to move without the plane, and if I want to parent it back, I click parent camera again, and now this plane is going to move with the camera again, which means now we should be okay, and we have to focus on what's going on here. So here is the tricky part, is because I will be so let's open this back again, and we want this render preview, and we can close that again if you can manage it. Yeah, which means now this is going to try to record this camera view into this plane. This plane is a shader, so it's going to print that camera output in this shader, which means that now what I want to do is set this viewport to be exactly correct with this. And I know that this OLED is 128 times 64 pixel. 64. So this is the actual what I want here to be the width. So if I look here, I can see that width is 184 and height is 263. We can ignore the height because we are concerned about the width for now, and we're gonna tweak the height later. So the width is too large. So I want this to be, I can check it all the time with Shift Y. Shift Y makes this menu here appear, this menu here appear. But if I hit it here, it's gonna take the width and height of this window. So I want this window width and height, and it tells me 156. So until I'm not at 132, because actually it's it is supposed to be 128, but these pixels here and there is +4. So which means the total is the total should be 132 pixels wide. So we can keep on going, Shift Y to track 140, we're almost there, and this is going to move by step of 4 pixels. So 1 time and 2 times, now I'm sure I'm at 132. 132, I'm good. So now I'm gonna see, this is my camera. It's a little bit, it has like 1 pixel on the side. I can hit Control and mouse wheel click to go further, like around here, like this. Okay, which means now I should be good. And I can also, if I want, tweak here. Can I move that? I should be able to move that. Move this panel. Anyway, I should be able to change the offset here. The offset of the camera. You can see it. Aha. Yeah, this offset is moving right below. It's just tweaking a little bit the offset in case I need it to be more centered, which in case I will do a little bit. So Shift Y, offset Y, and I can see a little bit behind. I'm going to offset it like that, which means now I have this view, camera view, and this plane, and if I want I can start to hit once. So there might be an error because I didn't set this offset X and Y, but we will check it anyway. Once, okay. So there was kind of an error. Oh no, there is not even error. It just worked because I touched this variable already. I clicked it back and forth, and now he knows this variable exists. And you see that he printed something here. But the funny thing is he printed this place. He printed this area. Playback, king, this playback here. So I have this in here. This is the offset. So I don't want no offset on X, I'm fine. But I can add a little offset here. So for example, if I go 30 and I hit once again, now you see he shot a little bit higher. So I'm just gonna go to say 100 to try to see what's going on. And now I'm starting to see my cube with the line actually that is there. So maybe 140 or something. And once again, and we are close to it. So this is a little tweaky part. Once, a little more. Once. Okay, we can also unselect things to see if there's some white line. This looks alright. Okay, this looks fine to me for now. From that point, you can start to record, and when you will move the cube, it's gonna send some cube data. So you see that areas that are underneath don't catch the light, so it has some brightness control. I can also how to say, put it in an angle and control the brightness here. So the brightness is going to give me either a very bright image or a darker image, like this. So I can set up my brightness from here. So I can stop. I can reset also with Alt R the rotation of my cube and hit once every time I want to just make one screenshot of it to make sure. So if I want to add a text, I add a text, I rotate RX 90 degrees, and I'm going to go in text settings to have it centered and to have it top baseline center. So here is some text, and let's hide the cube for now. So if you want real control with this, you should do that. So I'm gonna hide the cube for now. Have the text. The text has no shader, but it should give me some data. And here we go. My text is already there. So any kind of object, everything that's actually under this camera in this view is gonna show. Maybe if I even draw some stuff here, maybe this is gonna draw. It's drawing it. So which means it's really drawing exactly what's going on here. It's a mix of what's in the camera and what's on screen. So from now on, we're good with the camera settings. Clear all. When you started, this shows you how long it took for every screenshot. So which means it's between 5 and 10 milliseconds, which is quite quick. It can be sent to Arduino in live, because if we have like 10 milliseconds, so 0.010 seconds, which means we will have 10 milliseconds. We would have 100 actually, 100 images per second, which means we are very far from our 24 image per second that we need. So we could still do some stuff as long as Arduino will get something that's around 24 or even maybe 15. Is a kind of Charlie Chaplin era animating frame per second number. Even from 15 seconds, our eye is FPS. From 15 FPS, our eye start to see some animation, which means we only need mostly 20. 24 or 30 would be better, of course, for some more fluid animations. So since we're good with that, we can start to go with what is going on with these. I'm going to put the cube back. So there is this, it does different things. This add-on does different things. So you see here in data, it says send, receive data. Send, receive data, or export. So if I go send, receive data, this is going to try to send to some Arduino board that would be connected. So I could do that, connect it to the port of my Arduino board. This is, I'm going to know about it in the Arduino settings. And also this one, the baud rate is something we set when we decide to talk to Arduino via serial. But I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to do in case you want to export some animation. So you had this cube starting from here, and you have this perhaps you put a rotation, and then you go to frame 40, or even to frame let's say 100, and you rotate this on Z 360 degrees. So you make a full loop, and you tell him another key, frame, rotation, and then you go to your settings and you tell him you don't want any other frames after 100. So if you start to 100, if I play this animation, my cube is going to rotate forever. So as long as I'm doing this, I can just start, and then it's going to start to show me this animation. And then this is when few settings can be done here. So the data I could start to export. So if I'm on play 1, I want to export, but if I want to export, he's going to tell me there's no file path to be exported to. So that's why this one is grayed out. So I'm going to select any kind of place, maybe temp, I don't know, maybe, yeah, maybe let's go there. Okay, so this is still running. Let's stop it from running. I'm going to put it somewhere, anywhere, like DL add-ons. Make a new file, make a new folder, call it test. We're in test, and I accept. And now I'm gonna open it. Alt. I'm gonna open it by clicking Alt. And here, some files should be added when I will record this. So if I say once, I'm doing it, I'm going to say export once, and it exported an XBM file for me. So this XBM file, you can open it with GIMP. Is this free image manipulation software, open source like Blender, and he's one of the ones that are reading these files very well. One funny thing we can see is that it inverts the color, because Arduino works like this. He works like, most of the time he thinks, well, we're gonna put black for him, he's gonna try to make it white for us. So that's why it comes inverted like this, but this is the data Arduino likes to take. So one other thing you can see is that actually the image is inverted in XY axis, because the pixel data are coming in inverted from that plane. So if you really want something like text or something that cannot be inverted, there is one trick to this, is to go to the plane, to go to shading mode. We don't actually care this. And okay, we can see it, but I don't want these. I want my scene word and my scene lights. Okay, can look at my camera here, and I've got this material called OLED, which is right here, which actually basically does some very basic stuff. We don't need that. And what I can do here, it's a scale in -1 axis, or just have a multiply in vector math. So I want 1, everywhere except on the z-axis. Maybe I want -1. What's this gonna give me? Exactly, it inverts me the image. So now I can perhaps have some text working. It's gonna invert the image compared to the other, but it's gonna work. It's gonna send some write data to Arduino. So okay, if I want, I can always put myself some value here that is gonna change that for me, or I can just mute that. I'm gonna mute this one with M. And we can go back to our main layout. And if I'm gonna start this with this export mode on, then it's gonna try to record all this animation. So I'm on frame 1, I'm gonna start, stop. Okay, so I recorded a lot of things, but it didn't move anything because I was not in animation mode. So if we want, we can also sync with timeline. And now when I press start, it's gonna press play for me, which means I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna go a loop and then stop. And now if I want to go there, I have a lot of XBM files that are recorded for me that I can later on send to Arduino, or just how to say, write them in a huge file that contains my animation. So if we look closer at this kind of file and we open it with code, this is what it gives. These are the basic how to say, XBM format file. So it contains these series, these arrays of bytes. This is one image. So you're gonna have a very long file, but I mean, it's just copy and pasting. It's not a big deal. There might be a way to make a script to do that for you. And now you have all these output XBM ready for you in a file. So I stopped it a little bit before 100, so it could take only those, but it's okay. So this is quite it for now. I will make an extra video to send data to Arduino when I connect Arduino back again. Thank you guys, and have a nice animation time making. Cheer up. Love you, bye. Love you, bye. That's nice, man. I like it. How long was that?